Hi, welcome to another episode of Don't Quote Us, where we're going to go over the movies that we're excited to see here in the first part of 2019, that being January here through April.
My name's Steve.
And I'm Jeremy. And we're going to start off with January, which has nothing.
Literally.
Nothing interesting us. If there's something you know about, you know how to contact us. Leave a comment and don't thumbs down us, please, though, because we just didn't see anything great. But you hit February. And we hit the Lego Movie 2, the second part. And I love the first one.
I did too.
It was awesome.
Yep.
Great characters.
I would say great. You just literally, exactly. Great characters.
Lego Batman introduced us to him. Without him, we wouldn't have had the Lego Batman movie.
Relax, everybody. I'm here. Batman! What's up?
Which was another interesting movie, to say the least. I don't think it was on par with the Lego movie,
No,
but I thought it was, interesting and everything. It really did kind of open up the Lego series.
Oh, yeah.
At first, I really didn't know why they were doing a Lego movie, but afterwards, I can't remember how many times I've watched that movie. I really do think it is an absolutely great movie.
Oh, yeah.
The voice acting behind it, the story, how it ends. Will Ferrell is an absolutely great bad guy, but also a good guy because... Watch the movie. It's worth it. I'm not going to tell you about it. Let's just move on and let's start talking about Lego Movie 2, which we did. We're excited. Now,
Definitely.
we're going to start hitting the ground running because in February, things are going to start to get interesting.
So we go from February 9th, or February 8th, the Lego Movie 2 coming out, to Battle Angel Alita, or as they're calling it here, Alita Battle Angel. That's on February 14th, 1 week later. I think that's going to definitely hit the, earnings of the Lego movie, but I am excited about this. This is based on anime from the 80s that I have seen, that I like.
And that's the reason why Jeremy referenced it as Battle Angel Alita, but they have switched it for the movie. People make big decisions like that for good reason. I can imagine probably somebody was like, no, we need to call it this, and that's the reason why we did it.
Maybe it should be Alita, comma, Battle Angel?
I don't know if it's ABA or, whatever works, but yeah, I'm excited for the movie. CGI is absolutely in place of it. I think it's absolutely necessary. James Cameron is obviously directing it, and I think he did a great job with Avatar.
Yeah.
With the amount of CGI it had involved. It absolutely blended in really well.
Oh, I thought it was good. I'm not the biggest fan of the movie, but I don't have any problems with that.
No, it's an entertaining movie. I mean, if you've watched the movie and everything, you kind of know why people necessarily didn't like it. It kind of got a little political on it.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
A little bit, which is, you know what?
James Cameron, what
are you going to do? It is what it is.
He is,
But dependable. You can always depend on a great movie.
So the girl does have these big eyes, and that may, confuse people or push some people away, but it's good. The CG helps the plot. It helps the story.
Yep. See the movie and you'll understand why the eyes are there. So
yeah, definitely helps with expression.
Very much so.
So now you get to February 22nd. You got How to Train Your Dragon, The Hidden World, the third in the series.
Yep.
If you don't count the shorts, and I think there was a series, you said
Netflix. Yeah,
Netflix.
There's a Netflix series.
And so what can we say about this? It's definitely got adult stuff, kid stuff, nothing bad adult stuff, but just jokes that the adults will enjoy, jokes that kids will enjoy, characters that everyone will enjoy, and the story and the world they've built in the first two movies has been great.
And they've added on necessary things, especially in How to Train Your Dragon 2, just the overall, I don't want to spoil anything, but specifically the main character, he has another, how do I want to say, without spoiling again, another person come into it that adds more to a story. So again, if you haven't seen it, I suggest it, especially if you plan on going to see this. But like Jeremy said, I think it has the adult humor that makes parents want to take their kids and also not suffer through it. And there's not a whole lot more to say other than I'm pretty darn excited for it because I own both of the first two. So
yeah, I own them as well myself. Yes, 1 and 2. All right.
Now things are going to start to get really interesting.
Oh, definitely. Here we go.
Captain Marvel.
March 8th, Captain Marvel. First female heroine lead in the Marvel Universe. And Carol Danvers is going to go and surprise us with stuff from the 90s. We're going to find out where'd she come from, what are her powers, where'd she go, what's she going to do for us in Avengers Endgame. So if you're going to see Avengers Endgame, see this first.
This will be the
Most people
start
don't
game.
know.
This will be the start game. You
need
should
this.
see this, yeah.
You need this. Without this, you're gonna probably go into Avengers Endgame going, "Who's the chick?"
Yes.
And
You'll learn really quick as to what she's capable of. To me, this reminds me a lot of like when Captain America came out.
okay,
Again, Captain Marvel, Captain America. I think it's actually absolutely starting another nuance to the actual Marvel universe. We were talking earlier, and it's going to open up the cosmic side of things.
Definitely.
Besides Guardians of the Galaxy, a little bit of Thor Ragnarok. We know that out there in space, there's a lot out there. We
Yes.
know we're Earth. So essentially, what's going on because of the Avengers?
Yeah.
We are now susceptible to higher forms of combat, bigger, badder bad guys. Now, obviously, whether you know or not, I would imagine most of you do, Disney does own Marvel. Disney now owns Fox. They're going to definitely be able to open it up even more, especially with like Galactic, Silver Surfer.
Fantastic Four,
That's it.
X-Men, yes.
There's a lot they
more.
can do with the storyline. So I think this is actually going to be a good launching point. And we will be talking about Endgame very soon. But what I think the great thing about Captain Marvel is, I think at the very end of Captain Marvel, they're actually going to start to introduce the newer characters that Disney has actually brought on. I think if out of the two movies, I think Captain Marvel will be the one that does that.
Okay. And then we go a little bit later in March, and you got March 29th, Disney puts out Dumbo, the live action film directed by Tim Burton. And you can see here already Disney owning so many different movie franchises and movie studios that what they're doing is spacing these out.
Yes.
4 weeks, that's plenty. I mean, you go from the 8th to the 29th, that's a 3-week gap. They have plenty of time in there to get their good earnings before they go and put another movie out.
Essentially, you don't want to cannibalize your own
Definitely not.
movies. And I think, again, Disney does a great job. I don't like seeing Disney own everything. But again, if one company is going to own everything, I think Disney does a pretty good job. So
Earlier, we were talking about it, and I said Pixar, I said Fox, I said Marvel, and I said their own stuff, Disney.
Yeah.
I left out Lucasfilm, which they basically. So you do kind of have 5 there that they really own. I mean, it's what I'd have to say, a good 50 to 75% of the movies coming out are Disney owned. What else do you have? Sony, Universal, and
you have other
in the East.
entities out there and everything. You're not. But Jeremy is absolutely not wrong. Disney does have a majority of the market. The only thing is about Disney, they're only going to do blockbusters. You're not going to have smaller indie films. You're
that's
not going to
true.
have smaller films that are like shot really well and end up
He's right.
becoming great. Disney, you can expect they are going to be the tent poles. They're going to hold it up.
Yeah, they're not going to take a chance. That's for sure. And in a future video, we can definitely talk a little bit about why Disney's done what they have. And it's basically, like you said, to be able to get more blockbusters out there. They couldn't just keep going on their own library because,
It's only
so many movies
much.
that turn live action.
No, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Dumbo, I'm kind of excited for it to a certain degree because Tim Burton is involved. Danny DeVito's involved. I think Danny DeVito is an absolutely great actor. I think he's the only person who can actually play Penguin in the Batman series.
He plays a good schmuck kind of character, a bit of a guy. He plays hateable very easily.
Quite. And Danny DeVito is also in I don't want to say every Tim Burton movie, but man, he is in a lot. It's a lot like Johnny Depp.
Yeah,
He's in
he
a
is in a few of them,
lot
yeah.
of his movies, which I'm good with, if that's the case, because, like you said, I think he really does give you that, I don't mind hating him, or I don't mind disliking him.
I just realized something. Not to segue too much,
Please.
but Tim Burton,
Yeah.
Danny DeVito,
Yep.
Michael Keaton.
Yep.
The fun fact is,
First time that probably the three have worked together since the Batman Returns movie.
Oh, you know what?
Probably.
I think you're absolutely right. As always, don't quote us, but I think you're actually right on that one.
Yeah.
Because after Batman, I want to say Michael Keaton kind of fell off, especially after, wasn't he Multiplicity or something like that? And that was like his last movie for years.
Well, no, he did that Jack Snow movie where he was a snowman, and there was where
such
he
a
got
sad
cancer
movie.
and died, I think.
No.
I thought he got cancer and died and became was reincarnated as a snowman. No?
Maybe
Maybe I'm thinking
it was
of
a
different
car
movie.
accident.
Oh. There's another one where he had cancer, but he started doing more dramatic movies, more than action, I guess I would say. He moved more into the drama side, and now he's kind of come back to action with Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Great movie.
And,
I thought maybe not great movie. It's a pretty good movie. I think the Spider-Man movies, especially the newer ones. Hold on, the newer ones with Tom Holland.
Yes. Good.
I think they're a lot like Ant-Man. They're on a lesser scale, but it does give you scope to the whole Marvel universe.
More fun movies than
Yes.
Action. I would say more fun, but
Absolutely.
definitely Dumbo is going to be interesting because where they go with the story and stuff. I know there's some kids being introduced and stuff in it.
Yeah.
Colin Farrell playing a father that works at the circus, but to me it's a wait and see.
Wait and see.
Interesting.
Very.
Interesting. So then we go a week later,
Back to comics.
and here comes DC/Warner Brothers, and they got Shazam.
Shazam! 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 Shazam!
DC's version of Captain Marvel. He was once Captain Marvel, then trademarks and copyright things happened, and now Marvel has Captain Marvel, which makes more sense. We now call him Shazam. And we got Zachary Levi, right? Zachary Levi? Yeah, playing Shazam. Basically a boy that turns into a superhero man. Well, I don't know if he has any real weaknesses or anything. I just know, it should be fun. I don't know what they're going to do if, like you talked about earlier, are they going to integrate it into the DCEU proper? Are they going to keep him over in this little bubble over here and let him just do his thing and maybe in a future one integrate him in? I mean, he's from a different studio originally, DC purchased, so maybe he starts here and maybe there's some movie that he merges in and
Which I'm
Crisis on Infinite Earths.
personally fine with. If they want to develop these characters singly and then bring them a part of a universe, I think it's the better idea because I think what DC is doing is actually the opposite of what they should be doing.
take it slower.
If you've seen Aquaman, which I have,
I have not yet.
great. I think it is a great movie. I really do think Jason Momoa is a great Aquaman. I think the story overall, it is a little bit long, but it's not to the point where this is too long. It's like, well, they're setting everything up. This is a good story. I don't mind watching this.
Okay.
Now, Aquaman, I don't think has to be that movie. Other than Jason Momoa showing up in certain regards, I think it's a great standalone movie. There were a few things that didn't make sense, but standalone, I think you're good. Just like Wonder Woman was a great.
Oh, yeah.
You know, we all know that they're integrated to a certain degree, but I think with Shazam, stick with what the single movie is. And if the single movie is great, move on. If it's not, then guess what? You just lost a movie. It wasn't a part of the universe, so you don't have to tie everything in.
Work on more world building around the character than trying to go right for the universe and try to catch up to Marvel.
Yeah, why do I care about the universe if I don't care about the character?
There you go.
I'm not going to invest in a universe like the Marvel universe. I'm absolutely invested in because I think all these characters are really good, even the lesser ones. And I don't mean lesser as in not as interesting, but like Ant-Man, for instance, I keep bringing them up. If you've seen the movies, you know that they're very much more funny. They're on the smaller scope. They build to the whole universe overall. But if
in their own way.
If I didn't care about the universe, why would I care about Ant-Man?
Exactly.
And that leads us to another comic book movie, but it is a reboot of something you may have seen.
Hellboy comes out on April 12th, 2019, restarting the Hellboy franchise with a new director and a new lead.
Yes. Ron Perlman is no longer involved with this. Now it is, I believe, David Harbour.
David Harbour. Yes, thank you.
So essentially the sheriff from Stranger Things.
Okay. And I like the first Hellboy movie. I saw the first one. I saw the second one time, but never really amazed me. But they were good movies. If I saw them on TV, I watched them. But restarting the universe and with an R rating, as you mentioned earlier,
I believe so.
R rating, it definitely means more of a darker, grittier type of movie. Not Don't Think Superman versus Batman. I think they're gonna you just need that darkness. I mean, his name's Hellboy. Let's start there, right?
Essentially, he's supposed to end the world. Essentially, he's supposed to be the end all be all, and like that's it. But he doesn't want that necessarily. Yeah. You know, he was raised by Professor Broom, and he takes on all the paranormal issues that the world has and everything that we don't know about. I want to say in the first movie, there are things that go bump in the night, and we're the ones that bump back.
Yeah.
That I want to say, I might be screwing up the line and everything, but essentially that's what it is. So
I remember that.
I think the first two movies are great movies. I wish there would have been a third. I really do. I thought this isn't spoiling anything because, I'm sorry, these movies are so old. You go see them, and if you haven't seen them, it is what it is.
Been a while.
Hellboy essentially was going to be a father.
Okay.
And I thought that would have been a great premise because
Hellman?
hey, whatever it's going to be, because it was between him and his love interest, Liz, and in fact, I want to say they were having twins.
Oh.
That's what Abraham
Okay.
Sapien came up with and everything. And I don't know if Abe Sapien's actually going to be in this movie. I'm trying to keep myself pretty under the radar
It's
in
the
terms
best
of
way.
everything, but
Too many spoilers in trailers and stuff these days.
I couldn't agree more.
Ruins
But
it.
Hellboy should be a great movie.
And then we top it all off at the end of April 26th, 2019, Avengers Endgame. And I'm excited. I know nothing. We've talked earlier about the Super Bowl is where we're expecting to see the first trailer.
Yep.
I don't watch the Super Bowl, and so I won't see it. And I'm going to try my hardest to avoid any trailers or any commercials or anything about Avengers Endgame because I want to go in blind and just know Captain Marvel's going to come in. We're going to somehow defeat Thanos and maybe reverse most, if not all, of the deaths from Avengers Infinity War.
I couldn't agree more. I do wholeheartedly believe that Captain Marvel will probably more than likely get a Super Bowl commercial, and I think Endgame
that
will
will too.
absolutely as well. Whether they separate it by the half, first half, second half, or in the middle of halftime or whatever, I do believe that we are going to get our first glimpse at it, or more so than what we've had before. I know there's a lot of speculation in terms of who's dying and everything, especially now because toys have come out, and now people are comparing. I know.
Yeah, that's why I try to. It's all over. Everybody wants to know what's going to happen.
Which kills me. Just
patient.
wait.
Be patient. It'll be worth it. It'll be worth it. To know what's going to happen, you're just going to be sitting there the whole time waiting for it to happen instead of waiting and wondering what's going to happen. It's much more exciting. Practice patience. I know it's hard in this day where everything is at our fingertips and we don't have to wait even for a package or anything to arrive. We can snap our fingers and it appears. But just be patient.
I would say I think it's going to be well worth it.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I'm not saying you have to be like me where I'm an ostrich and I put my head in the ground, but I'm not going to pay attention to any of the trailers just because I want to go into it not knowing as much as possible.
Yeah.
I want it to hit me kind of full blast. I want to, be surround sound. I want to have my nice chair. I want to have my nachos like I normally do, but what we're going to end up doing is myself, Jeremy, and Chad are going to go see this movie, and at the very end, we're actually going to give an impression video. We're not going to give any spoilers or anything like that, but we're all going to go see it together, and then we'll give our impressions immediately afterwards. Again, spoiler-free, just so you kind of know what you're getting yourself into. I think that'll be the best bet. So.
And maybe we do spoilers in it, but we'll definitely have a moment where we put up a warning and let you tune out if you want at that point. But yeah, we will do probably a speculation one beforehand maybe and see how much were we right about.
I couldn't agree more, and we'll talk more about who's going to be living, who's going to be dying, who's going to be going afterwards. I think that's all fun, very fun conversation.
Oh, yeah.
I personally have my own opinion on who's going to be the character that leaves. In my opinion, it's not a spoiler, it's speculation at this point. I believe it will be Tony Stark. I believe Robert Downey Jr. Not because he wants to by any means, but I think it's, if you're going to be dramatic about something, that is a very dramatic, because he was the first in, first out. I mean, technically Captain America because it was back in World War II, but Iron Man was the first start to the MCU.
And we kind of, not to go too deep, but we have characters now that can kind of give us that technology thing a little bit. You have, the whole Wakanda and Black Panther's sister, I don't remember her name, but, how they have the technology. So we have someone else that can provide technology. We don't necessarily need Tony Stark anymore.
No, and even if Tony Stark is the one, depending on what comic books, sometimes he doesn't die. There's other
Tony Stark
ways.
dying doesn't mean Iron Man dies either.
Correct.
Keep that in mind. So
that is very, very true. So I'm anxious to see it again. Await those speculation videos, await the reaction videos.
Yes.
We're definitely going to be doing those. This is going to be definitely in our wheelhouse for what we love to talk about. And there are other movies out there, and if we didn't talk about one that you personally want to talk about, let us know.
Yeah.
Leave us a comment.
Yeah.
As always, please like, subscribe, and share, especially if you like what you're seeing. My name's Steve.
I'm Jeremy.
This is Don't Quote Us.
Thank you.